YouTubers, Mike Martin's here, Mike Martin's channel. Man, do I have a great article for you guys. I'm going to leave a link below because this thing is long. Let's get to it. The great housing bubble Arse-Covering up begins. Well, this is getting very exciting, isn't it? The hills are oh, by the way, this article is from April 10th. It's from Australia, and I think this is what's gonna, this basically is gonna be the domino that knocks over all the English-speaking countries and their housing crisis that they're suffering from right now. Let's see if this is the nail in the coffin. Well, this is getting very exciting, isn't it? The hills are suddenly alive with the sound of housing bubble. Never mind that growing mosh pit of doomsday international economic peak bodies, rating agencies, investment houses, economics and research entitled Gen Y bloggers, Generation Y bloggers. What happened to Generation X bloggers? Anyways, with an axe to grind. And the odd journalist and politician have been rocking out to this bubble tune for the best part of a decade or more. I've been making videos on this in the last 4 years. We are somehow to believe that we're only just pushed play on the soundtrack of dangerous and devastating debt-fueled assessed inflation rather than the truth of a megaphone simply been retrofitted with a broken little music box that has been gathering dust on the proverbial shelf of values Australians once cared about, cracking out the same neglected and hated old tune of the housing bubble doom. This is a very good article, people. Our three economic regulators have finally revealed themselves as the three witches busy tending to their poisonous brew while chanting bubble, bubble, toil and trouble to a nation of tone-deaf property speculators and commentators come experts. The architects of our dreaded housing and economic Frankenstein are among the last to formally recognize the monster of their own creation, of what is a hideous creature that defies all reason, logic, decency, and ethics, and ultimately ability to survive. Such is the well-documented expectationalism of willful blissings. Wow, I'm so surprised I could read this, guys. Willful blissings of a collective Australian bubble psychology, and the bubble believers and skeptics alike have come to the psyche's defying conclusion that Australia has invented an actual perpetual motion machine. The problem with perpetual motion machines, they don't exist. You can just feel the growing friction rubbing up against the bloated sack of housing hot air. I am amazed how tenuous the belief of exponentially growing imbalances can go on forever. When every fiber of an economy must be sacrificed at the altar of a housing speculation, and ever more dramatic interventions just keep the demand thing afloat for another few months or years, for just one more election cycle. Elect people, get them out. I keep telling you guys, your futures are being sold out. Your kids are being sold out to what? A piece of property. People have to live. People are forgetting, okay, that they need to live somewhere. And when you need to live somewhere and it's expensive, guess what? Your future's bought out. You can't lay roots. You can't start a family. That's why I left my city 2.5 hours, 3 hours, whatever you want to call it, drive away from my city. And I've been living in a cowboy town and in the mountains, and man, am I loving it here in a cul-de-sac. I love it. Let's continue. I've been researching the housing bubble, its roots, causes, and the concomitant bastardization, oh wow, I can't even read this, of one's dynamic, sustainable economic structure for about 6 years. I've been writing about it privately for 5 years, and writing about it publicly in a blog for nearly 3 years. Like many hard-working and determined commentators covering this matter of one moral, political, and economic importance, I've had my fair share of detractors and flat earthers taking strips off me and trying to personally discredit me for having a vested interest as a younger renter. Imagine. Me too, I've had flat earthers strip me down. Yet before have I been, and those Himalayan salt lamp rock people, Himalayan salt lamp rock, like it's going to pay off their student loans. Anyways, Yet before, I have been so convinced of the self-fulfilling day of reckoning. A Minsky moment for those playing at home, an inevitable and closure than ever for passionate blogger with a day job and family. Me, I'm a vlogger, so I do the same thing. It has become almost impossible to keep up with the housing bubble news. These days, it has, for the first time in history, become a daily issue and is only set to become more so. If we are a highly leveraged property investor, I'd be starting to get very worried right now. And haven't been listening so far, they must surely be starting to sit up and take notice. Do you understand? If you're making it a commodity, you're making it like a stock market. Commodities fall, do you understand? They don't go up forever, and there's people in this delusional planet that believe that it's going to keep going up. There's nowhere else for real estate to go. Yes, there is. The youth needs to go somewhere. When the youth can't find a place to live and they're living out of garages like in Auckland and places and living in their cars like in Vancouver and stuff like that, people need a place to live, and that's what's going to take over because people need a house to live. They're just going to vote in people that are going to make the difference if they have to. A United Nations report concluded that the financialization of housing is the key determinant of inequality. Yeah, all 4 banks are hiking mortgage rates out of cycle, targeting investors. Yeah, primarily budget office coasted a plan to abolish stamp duty in favor of broad-based land tax. Yeah, ASIIC chief Greg Metcalf declared that the housing market bubble. Oh, you just wake up? This is happening. This is real, people. The RBA warned that the household debt levels and house prices are endangering financial stability and damaging the economy. Why didn't RBA bring this up 5-6 years ago when they know what was happening? Why are they keeping it secret? So they can keep their damn quotas and buy out the poor. Yet another IMF reporting concluded that the current household debt levels are an unappreciated problem in Australia. I've been covering the TDS. Your total debt service ratio is out of control. People are calculating car insurance, motorcycle insurance, car payments. They're not including that and taxes in their TDS. They're just looking at the payment, seeing if they can afford to pay it. How do you buy your food? With your credit cards? Let's keep going. Mortgage arrears continue to rise in cycle heights. NPR rolled out further macroprudential tightening as time targeting interest-only lending. ACI joined APR interest-only home loan crackdown in security mortgage lending standards like those jumbo loans they had back in Florida, down south, back in 2006, 2007. I'm telling you guys, this is out of control. The RBA, let's just go. Everyone's covering their asses. A natural reaction to panic. The 3 stooges of financial regulation moved to save their own bacon. Guys, this is a really long article. I want to leave this for you guys because I need you guys to get this article out there. I need you guys to share this article. This article is well written and it's what I've been talking about for years. Watch my videos. Government will never let prices fall. Will they? Yeah, they gotta let it fall because they'll get voted out and the youth will rise up and vote. But this isn't a time different. Even the bears have lost faith. Surely the Chinese bid will bail us out? This is going on and on. But what about our world-beating immigration rates, supply and demand, right? Oh, Irish population growth since 2016. It just goes into everything. Guys, this thing is like 40 pages long. I'm going to leave a link below for you guys to read this beautiful piece article and by guest Australian property featured article. It's a cross-posted from Rational Radical. I'm going to leave a link below. It's from Macro Business. Read this. Educate yourself, people. It's important to know what's going on. Big hugs to everyone watching my channel. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe button and don't forget to watch my Living the Dream series. Leave the cities. It's a conspiracy. Live 2 hours out of the city. Find a local job and pay half the prices. Thanks for watching.